Hi guys. So I want to come on and have my first YouTube video that I'm posting start out with gratitude. There are many topics I'd like to dive into on this channel for my learning benefit, your learning benefit, my healing journey, your healing journey, so that we can help each other out. But I think the first thing that would set everything off properly on a good foot, is to say some things I'm grateful for. It's very easy to focus on things that we're not grateful for. There are bills, sometimes our relationships, romantic or platonic, our jobs. The list goes on, right? But it's so easy to focus on all that negativity, isn't it? It just seems to come firsthand so easily off our tongues. So prevalent in our minds. But we have to stop. And usually, most of us, if you're not like most of us, then please tell us your secret, because I'm sure you worked at it, or you were just blessed with that gift. But some of us have to really work at staying positive and not being negative. So again, it's so much easier to instantly, ferociously have negativity pop into our minds and out our mouths. And it's so much harder for us to focus on the positives and what we're grateful for, right? So I want to start this channel off by having you guys help me, and I'll help you focus on things we should be grateful for, because I think that is a much better way to start off our approach. Because some of the topics that we're going to get into on this channel aren't always so nice, clear cut, obvious. Some might be divisive. Not purposely, mind you. They're discussions, thoughts, feelings, traumas, situations that are just hard to talk about. And everybody's going to have their opinion, and that's fine. And believe it or not, what my opinion was today, after some reflection or insight from somebody else or from the divine, wherever it comes from, might not be my same view tomorrow. It's just facts. Because I'm an alive, organic, feeling, spiritual being, right? So I'm always growing, changing, evolving. If I wasn't, I'd be dead. So I would appreciate that if you don't agree with me, maybe share your sides respectfully. And I definitely, undoubtedly, will consider it. Doesn't mean you'll change my opinion, but it absolutely could. And it might not change it right away when you post it, but day, month, years, who knows? That seed might. And same as reversed for me, you know. Perspective and perception are different things. And we all have our own perception of things from our life experiences and things, and you know. So it's good to get outside ourselves and out of our own perception and get the angle of another perspective, even if we don't adopt it to be our own, you know. So my intentions for this channel are for people who feel misunderstood, outcasts, misfits, black sheep, the weirdos, the crazy ones, the coloring outside the lines, thinking outside the box ones, the non-sheeple ones, lack of a better term, the ones who know that they don't know everything, the ones are humble enough to want to learn more and more every day, knowing that they'll never know it all, at least from an earthly human realm. Your divine you, your divinity knows. But those are doors and keys and locks and records and gifts that we have to access in this life or next life, whatever you believe. We're all on a journey, and we're all really just helping each other get there, whether we like their help or not. Which brings me in a very strange way to gratitude. Let's start out with the tough one. Okay? I am grateful for the people that hurt me. What? How? How can that be? I'm grateful for the betrayals, for the lies, for the deceptions, for the abuses, for the brutality, for the fears, for the pain and suffering, for the confusion, for the agony. I'm grateful for being lost at times. I am grateful for feeling like I want to die at times. And on a side note, from my experience, most people don't want to die. They want to stop hurting. They just want the pain to stop. It's also my experience that most people aren't talking about killing themselves for attention and then that negative connotation it gets from some people. Some may be doing it for attention, yes, but because it's a cry for help. Whether a person is saying that they want to die or implying such things, whether they're saying it legitimately because they want to manipulate you or get attention, and deep down they know they would never do it, but it keeps their boyfriend, it makes their mother not punish them, whatever the motivation behind it could be malicious. There's still something not quite right with that person's thought process to do those things. You see what I'm saying? So it's still a cry for help in another way. So when people say they're just doing it for attention, well, yes. Even if it's a manipulative one, it's still not healthy. They still need help on some level, right? And the ones that are definitely thinking about it and contemplating it in their minds, and they want someone just to see them and hear them, give them a reason, stick around a little bit longer, 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 day, whatever it takes to keep them here. Fucking do it. Don't mock them. Don't blow them off. Yes, some people do it repeatedly as a control tactic. Let's be real. Especially in relationships. If you walk out that door, I'll kill myself. If you do this, I'll kill myself. It's a control manipulation tactic. Sometimes. Maybe more often than not. Still a very unhealthy way to be. And they still need help. And then there's those people that you're not sure if it's a manipulation tactic or if they're going to do it. And because you didn't do anything, or you were just exhausted with hearing it so many times that you were like, fuck it, fine, go ahead, out of frustration. And then they do it. And the guilt is suffocating on you. And it's not your fault. You didn't know. Oh, but if I just stayed and listened, if I believed them, if I was more empathetic. Well, you were all those other times. You don't know what's going on in a person's mind. You don't know their traumas. You don't know their conditioning. You don't know their impulses. You don't know what you don't know. Maybe you could have handled it better, but you handled it the best you could at the time, and it's going to have to be enough. And the only thing you can do is, instead of beating yourself up, is say to yourself, I don't like how I handled that. But what's done is done. And it was a terrible, horrible, traumatic learning experience. But a learning experience nonetheless. So the question is for you, what are you going to do with that learning experience? Are you going to take the lesson? Maybe do some research, get some education. So if next time you're ever in that situation, you have better tools to handle it, or maybe share your experience with other people that go through similar things so that they have better tools so that they can handle it differently. What are you going to do with the knowledge that you've been given? Most of our knowledge isn't given just for us. It's not for us to keep and hold on to and stew over and sit up there. I was, the enlightened one on the hill. That enlightened one on the hill needs to come down and share that shit. Wouldn't it be great? Much better to be running around with a bunch of enlightened ones than people begging, pleading for more knowledge on how to handle things. I'm not sure why I went down that road on suicide, but maybe somebody out there needs to hear that. I'm sorry I had to go through that. But what light can you bring out of that darkness? Because somebody else is going to be in that darkness somewhere. Someone you touch. You weren't given that lesson for nothing. You were given it to embrace it, absorb it, learn from it, and share the lesson, because there's going to be other people on your path, whether you know it or not. They might never be telling you, but you might just get the feeling to bring it up in a conversation one day. And they might never flinch and let you know, let you in on their little secrets. Something you said from what you learned is going to help somebody someday. If you want it to, if you take the lesson, if you grow from it. Yes, it was painful. Yes, it hurt. Guilt, shame, remorse. It's not going to help you. Knowledge is power. Sharing knowledge is even more powerful. It's the ripple effect, right? Floop. Out the ripples go. And the ripple hits another person. And that person ripples. And then that person hits another one. And so you got all these ripples. Our little micro lesson. Our first contact lesson. Our initial awakening to the need for better understanding of how to handle these things. It might cause you, instead of regressing about it, dive into that. Don't just push it down and say, well, I don't ever want to think of that again. Well, it didn't happen to you for no reason. What were you supposed to do with that lesson? You weren't supposed to bury it. That'll just eat at you. It'll always be until you resolve that in your mind and in your heart. You can say, well, at least I did. Okay, fine, you did. Now help somebody else do it. Help them do it easier. Ease their pain. Help them avoid it. And if they're going through it, because it's done is done, give them all the stuff you went through. and you help somebody else through it. Make it a little easier on them. Wouldn't that be great? So, we don't like our traumas when we're going through them, right? Nobody likes being abused mentally, physically, sexually. It fucks you up. It's very difficult for people to recover. And I don't want to hear people one-upping their traumas. Well, that's all that happened to them, and they're acting like that. This happened to me. It's fucking way worse. Really? Because you don't have their mind. You don't have their background. You don't have their conditioning. You don't have their body chemistry. Yada, 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 and so forth and so forth. What was an easy thing for you to deal with might not be so easy for that person, and vice versa. Horn beep with that confirmation. We need to be a little bit more empathetic and understanding and stop trying to one-up each other on our trauma and our pains. I understand the sharing for like bonding and stuff, and oh yeah, well, fucking this happened to me. You're just bonding, you're connecting, even if it's on that dark shadow level. It's bonding. We understand that we've been there, we've done that, we felt that, we connected on that feeling level, not in a trauma bonding way, but you get what I'm saying, in a tribe way. But just because, you know, so-and-so's parents got divorced and they're devastated and now they're on drugs and acting out. Well, yeah, well, my mom died when I was, 4 on the way to my birthday party, or my mom died when I was 16 and in a car accident, and, I barely survived. I was in the passenger seat and I watched my mom. It's horrible. I hear all these stories. Don't make the mistake to think that your pain is any more worthy, relevant, significant, whatever. Dictionary, Webster. Everybody's pain is relevant. Everybody's degree, and who's rating the degrees of the pain? How do you even rate it? Somebody's hurting, they're fucking hurting. Okay? So back the fuck off. Everybody needs to be seen. Everybody's pain needs to be seen. Everybody's voice needs to be heard. Even what we would call superficial. When the girl's like, oh my God, my hair is just not right. I can't go out. He'll never think I'm cute. Whatever, And I'm going to say, why are you so obsessed with it's vanity? That's superficial. Why do you care? Is it? Because when I hear things like that, I don't think of somebody who's vain. I think of somebody with low self-worth. Or somebody who is so conditioned by their childhood, probably a mother figure, a mother wound, saying, stand up straight, fix your hair, you look terrible, you're going to embarrass me. There's so many reasons, and that's carrying over now. So she might need her nails to be perfect, her hair to be perfect, her makeup to be perfect, because in her mind, if she's not perfect, she won't be loved. She won't be heard. Her needs won't get met. There's so many reasons. So let's be a little kinder. Yeah, just, getting your foot blown off in the war versus somebody getting their toenail ripped off might not be the same thing on a basic level. I understand that. But you don't know what else goes on in their minds that can make it bigger than just a toenail. You just don't. I'm not saying give everybody a trophy. Best, worst torture trophy, whatever. Or everybody should get a participation trophy in whose trauma was worse. There are some devastating fucking things that have happened to people, and some to face value, they ain't have shit happen to them. I get it. It's shit happened in here. So all I'm saying is see them, hear them, comfort if you can. Most people just want to be seen and heard and understood and validated for a minute. And then they're good. Most of them are good after that. Like, wow, thanks. It's like a weight lifted off their fucking shoulder. You did that by taking 5 minutes of your time, even though you thought it was fucking stupid. Wasn't stupid to them. Know that. Your kindness was not stupid for them. So I'm grateful for the big things and the little things, per se, that have happened in my life. Because they've given me a little more empathy, a little more understanding about how to be a kinder person. I think, I hope. Am I on point every day? Hell no. Do I beat myself up? Yeah, a little bit. Not nearly as much as I used to. Not nearly as much. Okay? So, we're all works in progress. And we all have struggles. And the sooner we try to make some space for people to understand that, I think our interactions with one another would go a lot smoother. Besides, like, the wind blowing, the smell, daffodils, lilacs floating on the breeze, the vision of the hummingbird getting nectar from the flower, the turtle basking in the sunlight on the log in the pond, the bee moving from plant to plant, flower to flower, looking for nectar, bring back to the hive to share. As a collective, that's what we're supposed to be doing. We don't just gather it all up for ourselves and hoard it. We're supposed to share it for the survival and the benefit of all. Well, let's face it. I don't know about you, but I don't want to just survive. I want to thrive, right? How do we thrive? We need to start changing the way we think. What you think about, you bring about, right? If you're focusing on all of the shit, well, you know, shit has a place too. It's a great fertilizer for your food. Now, human shit, I don't know if I'd be pooping and saying, I'm saving this later so I can put it in my garden. Something's weird about that. But it's okay to put fucking cow shit in our garden and be like, yeah, I got great mulch and compost or whatever the hell they call it, you know, fertilizer with a garden. It's fucking cow shit, dude. Somehow it makes it all better that it came out of a cow's ass than a human's ass, but I digress. I want us to start. I said us. Pointing the finger here too. I want us to start becoming more aware of how we speak to ourselves and others, and how we think and think about others. Can you do that? Because once you start paying attention and you're more aware, you'd be like, holy fuck, I'm negative as shit. Holy, I thought, wow. Boy, I'm not very nice to myself, am I? Holy shit, I'm nicer to everybody else than I am myself. How many believe, feel that one? I'm nice as can be to everybody else. While you're ripping yourself apart. You need you whole, not apart. You need to be just as kind to you, if not kinder. You need to build yourself up mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. So when you come across others, you can build them up. How will I know what to say? What did you say to yourself? That's why it's so fucking important to know yourself, right? And communicate with people. God, I mean, go to the gas station. Everybody looks at each other. Get out of my way, alien. Dude, we're all on this planet together. We're all just trying to walk each other home. You walk past somebody, smile, say hey. That one smile could have made their whole fucking day. Maybe it stopped them from jumping in the lake later and drowning. You don't know. Just be kind. Dude, every person most likely, I mean, I'm no, I'm no quantum physicist or whatever. I'm no guru on the hill. Shout out to Steve's Love Tarot. But one thing I do know is I'm happier when I'm kinder. It starts with you. It starts with me. My kids are home. Sorry for the interruption.